Warm greetings from TNV Academy. Today in this session, we are going to discuss about operational risk management. Before we move forward, let me tell you about the key learning of this session. At the end of this session, you will be able to understand what is operational risk management, examples of operational risk management, how does operational risk management work, primary objectives of operational risk management, and what are the challenges and shortcomings of operational risk management, benefits of operational risk management, how to develop an operational risk management program. So let's begin our discussion and talk about what is operational risk management. Operational risk is the risk of loss resulting from ineffective or failed internal processes, peoples, systems, or external events that can disrupt the flow of business operations. The losses can be directly or indirectly financial. For example, a poorly trained employee may lose a sales opportunity, or indirectly a company's reputation can suffer from poor customer service. Operational risk can refer to both the risk in operating an organization and the processes management uses when implementing, training, and enforcing policies. Operational risk can be viewed as part of a chain reaction. Overlooked issues and control failures, whether small or large, lead to together risk materialization, which may result in an organizational failure that can harm a company's bottom line and reputation. While operational risk management is considered a subset of enterprise risk management, it includes strategic, reputational, and financial risk. So we will now discuss about the examples of operational risk management. Operational risk permits every organization and every internal process. The goal in the operational risk management function is to focus on the risks that have the most impact on the organization and to hold accountable employees who manage operational risk. Examples of operational risk include employee conduct and employee error, breach of private data resulting from cybersecurity attack, technology risk tied to automation, robotics, and artificial intelligence, business processes and controls, physical events that can disrupt a business such as natural catastrophes, internal and external fraud. So we will now discuss how operational risk management works. When dealing with operational risk, the organization has to consider every aspect of all its objectives. Since operational risk is too pervasive, the goal is to reduce and control all risk to an acceptable level. Operational risk management attempts to reduce risk through risk identification, risk assessment, measurement and mitigation, and monitoring and reporting while determining who manages operational risk. These stages are guided by 4 principles. The first one is accept risk when benefits outweighs the cost. The second one is accept no unnecessary risk. The third one is anticipate and manage risk by planning. The fourth one is make risk decisions at the right level. Risk identification. Operational risk management begins with identifying what can go wrong. As a best practice, a control framework should be used or developed to ensure completeness. Risk assessment. When the risks are identified, the risks are assessed using an impact and likelihood scale, measurement and mitigation. In the risk assessment, the risks are measured against a consistent scale to allow the risk to be prioritized and ranked comparative to one another. The measurement also considers the cost of controlling the risk related to the potential exposure, monitoring and reporting. Risks are monitored through an ongoing risk assessment to determine any changes over time. The risk and any changes are reported to senior management and the board to facilitate decision-making processes. So we will now discuss the primary objectives of operational risk management. As the name suggests, The primary objectives of operational risk management is to mitigate risk related to the daily operations of an organization. The practice of operational risk management focuses on operations and excludes other risk areas such as strategic risk and financial risk, while other risk disciplines such as emphasize optimizing risk appetites to balance risk-taking and potential rewards. ORM processes primarily focus on controls and eliminating risk. The ORM framework starts with risk and deciding on a mitigation scenario. Operational risk management proactively seeks to protect the organization by eliminating or minimizing risk. Depending on the organization, operational risk could have a very large scope. Under the topic of operations, some organizations might categorize fraud risk, terminology risk, as well as the daily operations of financial teams like accounting and finance. The Risk Management Association defines operational risk as the risk of loss resulting from inadequate or failed internal processes, people and systems, or from external events, but is better viewed as the risk arising from the execution of an institution's business functions. Given this viewpoint, the scope of operational risk management will encompass cybersecurity, fraud, and nearly all internal control activities. Applying a control framework, whether formal framework or an internally developed model, will help when designing the internal control processes. One approach to understanding how ORM processes look in your organization is by organizing operational risk into categories like people risk, technology risk, and regulatory risk. People. The people category includes employees, customers, vendors, and other stakeholders. Employee risk includes human error, intentional wrongdoing, such as in cases of fraud. Risks include breach of policy, insufficient guidance, poor training, bad decision making, or fraudulent behavior. Outside of the organization, there are several operational risks that includes people. Employees, customers, and vendors all pose a risk with social media. Monitoring and controlling the people aspects of operational risk is one of the broadest areas for coverage. Technology. Technology risk from an operational standpoint includes hardware, software, privacy, and security. Technology risk also spans across the entire organization and the people category described above. Hardware limitations can hinder productivity, especially when in a remote work environment. Software too can reduce productivity when applications to increase efficiency or employee lack of training. Software can also impact customers as they interact with your organization. External threats exist as hackers attempt to steal information or hijack networks. This can lead to leaked customer information and data privacy concerns. Regulations. Risk for non-compliance to regulation exists in some form in nearly every organization. Some industries are more highly regulated than others, but all regulations come down to operationalizing internal controls. Over the past decade, the numbers and complexity of rules have increased and the penalties have become more severe. Understanding the sources of risk will help determine who manages operational risk. Enterprise risk management and operational risk management both addresses risk in the same areas but from different perspectives. In an effort to consolidate these disciplines, some organizations have implemented Integrated Risk Management or IRM. IRM addresses risk from a cultural point of view. Depending on the objectives of the particular risk practice, the organization can implement technology with different parameters for teams like ERM and ORM. So we will now discuss about the challenges and shortcomings of operational risk management. In many organizations, operational risk management is one of the most tenuous links in their ability to meet the demands of customers and stakeholders. While operational risk management is a subset of enterprise risk management, similar challenges like competing priorities and lack of perceived value affect proper development among both programs. Some common challenges include a common perception that organizations do not have sufficient resources to invest in operational risk management or ERM. Need for greater communication and education around the importance of operational risk management and the consequences of operational failures on a company's bottom line. Needs for increased awareness and appreciation across boards and C-suite executives to better understand operational risk management steps. Lack of consistent methodologies to measure and assess risk is an area of concern when it comes to providing an accurate portrait of an organization's risk profile. Establishing a standardized risk terminology that will be used moving forward, which is conducive to successful risk and control self-assessments (RCSAS). The process is varied and complex due to changes in technology. The function is oftentimes lumped in with other functions such as compliance and IT, which is why it does not receive significant attention. Operational risk management programs can be manual, disjointed, and overcomplicated, mostly because ORM developed as a reactive function in response to regulations and compliance. So we will now discuss about the benefits of operational risk management. Establishing an effective operational risk management program is helpful for achieving an organization's strategic objectives while ensuring business continuity in the event of disruptions in operations. Having a strong ORM also demonstrates to clients that the company is prepared for crisis and loss. Organizations that can effectively implement a strong ORM program can experience improved competitive advantages including better C-suite visibility, better informed business risk-taking, improved product performance and better brand recognition, strong relationships with customers and stakeholders, greater investor confidence, better performance reporting, and more sustainable financial forecasting. And finally, we will now discuss about how to develop an operational risk management program. As organizations begin the process of creating an operational risk framework and program, some areas that the risk management team should focus on include promoting an organization-wide understanding of the program's value and function, leveraging technology to implement an automated approach to monitoring and collecting risk data, establishing an effective method for evaluating and identifying principal risks in the organization and a way to continuously identify and update those risks and associated measures. Focus on helping the organization reduce material risk exposures while encouraging activities where the potential business benefits outweigh the risk. Focus on partnering ORM with other functions in the organization to better embed best practice into the organization. So we have now come to the conclusion of this session. In case you have any questions related what we have discussed today, then please put them in the comment section of the video and we will be really happy answering them. Till we meet next, best wishes from TNV Academy. Thank you.